right, new numbers show that 2024 was a record year for visitors for Dubai International Airport. Going through the numbers now with the DXB boss, Paul Griffiths. Morning, Paul.
Good morning.
So your highest annual traffic in some time, well, ever in 2024, and surpassing by some way the previous record. Talk us through the numbers.
Well, new world record for international traffic, 92.3 million. And one of the interesting statistics is over the last 10 years, we've had more than 700 million people go through DXB. That's more than double by a considerable margin than the population of the United States of America. So it just puts it into context. Busiest month was December, 8.24 million. Average monthly traffic, 7.7 million. Cargo, interestingly, the bellwether of world trade, up 20.5% year on year. So that's been a really good indicator that all is well commercially in the international markets. Top destination, still India, 12 million. KSA second, 7.6. And the UK third, 6.2 million.
Okay, so how did that compare with your own forecast, which I know you're very careful on your forecasts, but I also know you revise them constantly.
We do, yes. Well, forecast for 2025 is 94 million. Slightly conservative, probably because of the difficulties with the supply of new aircraft. Airlines are struggling to get new aircraft across the world. 2026, 98 million. 2027 is when we think we're going to hit the magic 100 million. But maybe we can bring that slightly forward. It'd be lovely to get that across the line in 2026. Let's see.
Which was going to be my question. It does look like you're well on the way to that target. How many people can you actually hold at the current airport?
Well, the difficulty is we could probably go up to about 117 to 120 million. The difficulty, of course, is airports rely on the quality of the interaction between surface transport and the air. We could probably cope with that within the airport, but our biggest question is whether the roads and the city infrastructure actually could cope with the throughput at the airport at that level.
Is it likely to get to that level, 117 million, before it's time for you to move house?
Well, I think the focus is very much on trying to achieve the completion of Dubai World Central, Al Maktoum International, currently slated for 2032. And the difficulty, of course, is if we don't actually achieve that date, we will be short of capacity at DXB. There is a safety valve. We've got the existing terminal at DWC that can take some overflow. We did 1 million passengers through there last year. And so that is a bit of a safety valve. But look, we're very inventive. I'm sure we'll find a way.
The RTA is building new flyovers and roads as fast as it can to cope with traffic in other areas. Is that a conversation you're having with them? Given, of course, that you do have this move on the cards, are you still having a chat about interim traffic measures?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about new bridges. We're talking about different ways of making sure that the roads to the airport are kept exclusively for airport travellers at peak times, all sorts of things. Obviously, the SALIC moves we've watched with interest. There may be a way of making sure that we can prioritise that road capacity at certain peak times exclusively for the airport. But, you know, the good thing is Dubai will always find a way to make something happen, and we're in very open conversation with all of the relevant people to make sure we're part of it.
How do you cope with different areas of the airport itself undergoing renovation? I'm looking at a story this morning, Emirates closing its first-class check-in area at DXB for upgrade until June. It's only a couple of months, but does that put more pressure on other parts of the airport?
It occasionally does. It depends what it is, but we always have a contingency plan. I think there are other areas of check-in, I think in Terminal 3 that Emirates are going to make available for first-class passengers. So it's all done in a sequential basis, like a giant jigsaw puzzle, to make sure that customer disruption is never an issue.
Speaking of your new house, and speaking of surface transport, the high-speed rail, which has made headlines in the last week between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, is going to come near the new airport. How close is it going to get?
We hope to replace the word near with in the new airport. It would be fantastic if we could get the high-speed rail coming in and then having a very short cross-platform translation from the high-speed rail straight into our people mover, so people could get off high-speed rail and be at the gate for their plane in literally 10 minutes.
Okay, you say it would be nice to happen, it would be great to happen. What does that hinge on? What would make it happen?
I think we have to paint a vision of what that fantastic customer proposition would look like, and then try and get people really excited about it. That's the way it works here. You paint a wonderful picture of what the world could be, and Dubai wants to be there in that particular space.
Whose decision is it how close it gets to the airport?
I think the thing is, this is a question of influencing everyone, because there's so many people involved. You know, you've got Etihad Rail, you've got the RTA, you've got DEWA, who've got some of the pipelines close to the airport. You've got all the various construction partners, and obviously the consultants that I was talking to the other day have a big influence on the layout of it. So if we can get it in the airport with this fantastic customer proposition, it would be transformative. We could get a fantastic link between air and rail, the best in the world.
Okay. What's going to get that over the line, though? Because it just makes sense. You've got a train, you've got an airport. Shall we bring the two of them together? What are we waiting for that?
What I have to do is I have to go on local radio here in the UAE and I have to campaign for great customer service. I have to get everyone in Dubai saying, yes, we want this fantastic rail link. We want to be able to check in at railway stations, not just at the airport. And we want to get everyone at the absolute pinnacle of development in airport customer service. Happy customers is the absolute priority at the airports, and we'd love everyone to get on board with that vision.
Okay.
There are many other ideas along that lines, not just the rail idea.
What's it going to mean for you? Have you forecast what percentage of your customers are going to use it?
I think it's going to be a game changer. I think it would be fantastic because many airports around the world, they really struggle with their rail and road links. And actually, if we can prioritise that as you build a fantastic 150 billion dirham new project at DWC Al Maktoum International, we need those road and rail links in place. And they have got to be world class. They can't just be, arrive on a train, go up 7 levels, find your way through difficult parts, get on a bus. I mean, some airports, the railway station is miles out. It's got to be right there.
1 minute left with you. It's also going to go to the new Abu Dhabi airport, potentially making us more agnostic as to where we fly from. How do you deal with that?
Well, I think the thing is, look, the UAE is quite well geographically spread. There's space for an airport in Abu Dhabi, and I was in Abu Dhabi last week, talked to the CEO there. They have got a great product and they're putting in new technology. I think it keeps us all on our toes. They're serving, obviously, the Abu Dhabi domestic market, and we're serving the Dubai domestic market, as well as the international market for transfers and people coming in. People have a choice, and I think it keeps us competitive, it keeps us lean, and it keeps us hungry to keep the entire product and customer service at Dubai airports at the very pinnacle of the best we can be.
Paul Griffiths is the CEO for Dubai Airports, coming in to give us not just the numbers for 2024, but the forecast quite far beyond that. Thank you very much for your time. You're listening to the Business Breakfast. Still to come this morning, Tom is in what will be a business breakfast first, going to do a deep dive, not physically, into the outdoor fire pit market. Apparently, it is becoming a thing.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.